Most people believe that being stoic means being cold, emotionless, distant, like a statue carved from stone, but here's a quiet truth that almost no one tells you. Stoicism is not about killing your emotions. It's about mastering them. Because emotions are not your enemies. Left untrained, they can destroy your life, but when understood and guided, they become one of the greatest sources of strength a human being can access. Right now, somewhere between what you feel and how you react, there is a moment of power, and most people never learn how to step into it. Think about this. The same anger that ruins relationships can also fuel discipline. The same fear that paralyzes one person can sharpen the awareness of another. The same sadness that weakens some can deepen the wisdom of others. The difference is not the emotion. The difference is the mind that receives it. Before we go deeper, if you're someone who wants to build emotional strength, mental clarity, and inner sovereignty in a chaotic world, make sure you subscribe to the Civitas Stoic channel, and it helps this message reach those who need it. And it signals to yourself that you're committed to becoming stronger, calmer, and more grounded. Now, let's talk honestly. Stoic philosophy never taught emotional suppression. Marcus Aurelius never said feel nothing. Seneca never said ignore pain. Epictetus never said become numb. What they taught was something far more difficult and far more powerful. Feel fully, but respond wisely. Here's where most people go wrong. When an emotion arises, they immediately identify with it. They don't say, I feel anger. They say, I am angry. And in that single moment, the emotion takes the throne. It speaks through their mouth, moves their hands, makes their decisions. The Stoic path begins when you reclaim that throne. An emotion is a message, not a command. It knocks on the door of your mind. But you decide whether it enters, how long it stays, and what authority it has. Imagine your mind as a fortified city. Some bring useful information, others bring chaos. Stoicism doesn't say, close the gates forever. It says, inspect every visitor. Anger often arrives when a boundary has been crossed. Fear appears when something valuable feels threatened. Sadness comes when attachment meets loss. Joy arises when alignment is felt. None of these are mistakes. They are signals. But signals are meant to be interpreted, not blindly obeyed. The self-destructive use of emotion begins when reaction replaces reflection. A Stoic trains themselves to pause. That pause is everything. Between stimulus and response, there is a narrow space. In that space lives freedom. And freedom is not the absence of emotion. Freedom is the ability to choose your response regardless of what you feel. When something provokes you, the Stoic question is not, how do I stop feeling this? The question is, what is this feeling asking me to notice? Anger might be asking you to defend your values, but not to abandon your character. Fear might be asking you to prepare, but not to retreat from life. Sadness might be asking you to reflect, but not to surrender to despair. This is where emotional health is forged. The Stoics understood that emotions grow louder when ignored and more violent when resisted blindly. But when observed calmly, they lose their tyranny. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. When you truly grasp that, emotions stop being storms that toss you around and start becoming winds you can navigate. Let's take anger as an example. Untrained anger is explosive. It seeks immediate release. It burns bridges. It speaks words you later regret. But trained anger becomes resolve. It becomes boundaries. It becomes the fire that fuels self-respect and discipline. The difference lies in delay. The Stoic does not vent anger instantly. They let it cool into clarity. They ask, is this within my control? Is my judgment making this heavier than it needs to be? Will acting on this improve my character or damage it? Most anger disappears when questioned honestly. Fear works the same way. Fear is not weakness. Fear is information. It highlights risk. It sharpens perception. But when fear dominates the mind, it creates imaginary futures and chains you to outcomes that don't exist. The Stoic response is to bring fear back to the present moment and ask, what is actually happening right now? What is within my control in this exact moment? Fear collapses when brought into reality. Sadness, too, has a place. Stoicism does not deny grief. Even Marcus Aurelius mourned deeply. But the Stoic does not let sorrow rot into bitterness. They allow themselves to feel it, while remembering that impermanence is not cruelty. It is the law of life. Everything you love is on loan. That realization doesn't make life meaningless. It makes it precious. When sadness arises, the Stoic doesn't say, "This shouldn't hurt." They say, "This hurts because I cared, and that means I lived fully." This is emotional maturity. Healthy emotional use means letting emotions inform your values without dictating your actions. It means staying present with what you feel while anchoring your behavior in reason and virtue. Stoicism teaches that your character is the only thing truly yours. Your emotions will rise and fall like weather. Your job is not to control the weather, but to build a shelter strong enough to stand in any storm. When emotions are used destructively, they narrow your vision. You become reactive, impulsive, fragmented. When used wisely, they expand awareness, they deepen self-knowledge, they refine judgment. A Stoic life is not emotionally flat. It is emotionally disciplined. This discipline is built daily, in small moments. When you choose not to speak immediately, when you breathe before reacting, when you remind yourself that opinions are not fact, when you accept discomfort without dramatizing it, when you refuse to turn temporary feelings into permanent identities. You are not your anger, you are not your fear, you are not your sadness. You are the awareness that notices them. And awareness is power. As you train this, something remarkable happens. Emotional resilience grows. Life stops feeling like an attack and starts feeling like training. Challenges become exercises, discomfort becomes instruction, even pain becomes a teacher. This is why Stoicism has survived empires, wars, and centuries, because it doesn't promise a painless life. It promises a stronger inner life. So the next time an emotion rises, don't ask how to escape it, ask how to use it well, ask how to act in a way your future self will respect. Ask how to respond as someone in command of themselves. Because the goal is not to feel less. The goal is to become more aware, more grounded, more sovereign. If this message resonated with you, stay connected, subscribe to Civitas Stoic, like this video, and continue training your mind the way ancient philosophers once did, not to escape life, but to meet it with unshakable calm and quiet strength. Remember, emotions are not chains. In the hands of a disciplined mind, they become tools. And mastery begins now.